We're a third-party accredited fire safety contractor who work with hundreds of universities and schools across the UK in developing fire safety compliance within asset portfolios. We provide passive fire safety services, including cladding, compartmentation and fire doors. And we also provide active fire safety services such as alarms, sprinklers, AOVs and emergency lighting services.
How can we prevent a major incident? Well, we're looking at, from a fire safety perspective, we're saying it's important that all the building components work together. So there's no point having fantastic compartmentation if your cladding's not reliable and safe. There's no point having a sprinkler system if your compartmentation is not good, because the fire can spread very rapidly through the building, and sprinklers can only cope with so many sprinkler heads going off at any one time. Maintaining fire doors, I mean, every establishment should have a suitable monitoring program in place. I mean, we do, for our fire door maintenance scheme, we actually use a QR code on the door, which we can use then to actually mark the location, the floor plan, if you've got the suitable plans in a suitable format. Ventro, we do compartmentation health checks, whereby we go through the building, room by room, floor by floor, where you check all the compartmentation, which would cover the walls, floor, ceilings, doors, everything else that forms part of the compartmentation. In the report, you get your principal findings by the surveyor. You get a line by line asset numbered report, which actually tells you the location, the detail of the problem, and then gives you a triage problem result as well.
So a little bit about rain screen facade and the build-up of rain screen and how it works. So the purpose of a rain screen facade is to protect, obviously, a building's exterior wall. This in turn offers the following benefit: speeds up the construction of the building, adds to the thermal properties of a building, adds to the acoustic performance of a building, and obviously helps with the maintenance, and it's all about the aesthetics and the looks. So we're just going to focus today on mainly A1 and A2. The reason being is we're really looking at high-rise buildings, particularly around in this sector, student accommodation and that sort of thing, because obviously this is what's so critical in the fire situation. So A1 is described as having no contribution to fire at any stage, and A2 is described as having no significant contribution to fire at any stage.
To the corridor, there was no smoke on the corridor, and I was like, what on earth is going on? So I walked down to the kitchen, the door was shut and it was fully ablaze. I looked through the vision, it was totally ablaze, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is, and even now I have to pinch myself that everything, and me, you know, making sure that everybody does what they're supposed to do, because everybody was able to get out. No smoke was on the corridor, and it really was a sight to see. And it's a shame these pictures, they don't give it justice to how bad that fire was. In the end, the plaster fell off the wall, and you can see the melted vent, and the light fittings were all melted. It was dreadful. As you know, the detector in the kitchen would have been a heat detector, so it would have gone off at set to 59 degrees. So like Howard said, everything has to work together. The smoke detector kicked off and set the alarm, and the doors did everything that it needed to do, and it helped and was a major contributor to saving life, I must say.
So the result of that really is a revitalised approach to innovative fire safety management in these dynamic, changing times. Means we can now approach building safety and assets and emergency evacuation in a slightly more pragmatic manner, including a much clearer pathway for addressing identified special measures in buildings. So we've got the building survey, the fire risk assessment, and then the special measures will be in place until we've completed the improvements. Now that could be external cladding or facade removal or improvement, or an improvement with our passive fire protection and cavity barriers. Once we've achieved that, we will then go back to a staged evacuation within our buildings.